Hey guys, just trying to get her settled. Hello, hello. Gosh, is that the end of that? I wonder if we have another one. I hope it's not the end. I'm okay, how are you? Well, I thought this was bad because this is almost empty. Turns out I pre-purchased another one. So there's one in the fridge already because I'm not a total mess. Hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Anyone doing anything interesting this weekend? I'm having lunch with my family today. Both of my aunts and my mom. It's actually Italian sweet cream. Eager towards turkey. Hi, sweet girl. I can't wait until she can actually see it, and then, like, I can wave, you know, hello. Because, like, obviously she can hear me, but she can't see anything, you know, it's just dark in there. It's just dark in there. Or at least that's what I'm told. I don't remember it personally. So soon, Stephanie. It's so soon. Stephanie, I read your post multiple times trying to like interpret it with my brain, but I guess my question is, did they change your induction date, or are they just feeling more confident about the one they gave you based on her size? Forgive my baby brain. I read it, I promise. I read your whole thing literally 3 times because I was like, I should know what's going on. But, like, that doesn't mean that I process things properly. Because I know you were worried about her size, but she's fine. I had a weird question. Do you have more fun, less stress with random non-themed restocks? Not necessarily. I like a theme, actually. I'm a big fan of a theme, to be honest. There's a cohesion to it because of my coefficients when I'm a moderator supposed, but that's moving. I see. Yes, send sleepy dust to this child. Everybody throw sleepy dust at the screen. Sleepy dust. Earlier that, okay, but you don't have an exact date though, I guess then. Is that what it came down to? Because I didn't see a date in your post. Then term, sure. I mean, like I said, she came before term also, so like as long as it's within a certain range, it's kind of like whatever, you know what I mean? Or at least, I don't know. I mean, I know it's not always that way, but like, she came 3 weeks early and we were fine. So don't stress about that part anyway. I mean, there are a million things to stress about. Like, don't let that be the stressor, you know what I mean? Do I sound crazy for saying that? I don't know. Hey, Amanda. Did anyone else's baby come early? Their first baby? I know it's unusual for a first baby to come early, so just curious. My baby is beautiful. Uh-oh, how do you know? Having to say, oh, vacation for a wedding. Send pics because I love a wedding. I'm going to a wedding in October and I could not be more excited. I'm going to wear her in a ring sling 37 weeks. She was 37 weeks too, so, you know. I'm going to wear her in a ring sling for the wedding. Both kids were exactly 39 weeks. That's fair. Month early. Yeah, I was 3 weeks early. 37 weeks unless we go downhill. Yeah. It's more me that's a concern now. Yes, and we're all obviously not only worried about you, but like hoping the best for you. But like, I remember all I could think about was like, oh my God, I need to get her to this certain point. You know what I mean? My baby will be 8 months next week. Sleepy Angel would be 8 months next week. Isn't that crazy, you guys? Yeah, I know, it's nutso. It's nutso. Guys, we're getting to the end of this book. Who's excited? I'm excited for the end of this book, and I'm excited to go into the next one, as always. I don't know, I just feel like I'm almost loving it even more this time. Yeah, I'm not worried about her since she's so big already, but also in great hands. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, she's already as big as she was when she left the hospital, so, like, she's fine. Although, I mean, okay, listen, weight isn't everything in a baby, obviously, but it seems like she's on the up and up, which we love to hear. I'm just trying to be positive. They're going to take care of you. Okay, I have an interesting question for the people who have never read Land of Stories before this read. Not people like Nais and Anya and I who are rereaders. Oh yeah, I mean, listen, Stephanie, I don't blame you for being frightened about that. If this is your first read through, do you have a different favorite character from the first book? Like, a lot of people were like, okay, I love the fairy godmother, or I love Alex, or I love Connor, or whatever. Did your favorite character change in this book? That's my question for while we walk over. Oh man, that's good. What did I do different? I didn't think I did anything different. Interesting. Why does it, do I just need it? Mother Goose is definitely a bop, and Red is grabbing you. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. It knew I needed it. It really did. Yeah. I mean, Mother Goose is one of the funniest characters ever. I think Red is too. How much you didn't need. Yeah, it's probably better because I needed it. It's true. Okay, I did this wrong hand-wise, so I'm gonna have to put you guys down for a second. Sorry, I shouldn't have done it this way, but it is what it is. So there you guys are gonna be down. And then, okay, here we go. It's almost like I've never done this before. I'm like a newborn Cole who doesn't know how to do anything. Froggy is such a sweet character. Such a sweetheart. And does it break anyone else's heart that Red is like on the fence about him right now? Breaks my heart for him. I'm like literally brokenhearted on his behalf. I know she hasn't made a decision one way or another, but like I just want her to be all in on him because he's all in on her, you know? Like, he deserves that because he's awesome. And I just am like, Red, I need you to step up for Froggy's sake. Get your ish together. Yes, he's too sweet to be an option. Yes, thank you. That's a great way to say it. He is too sweet to be an option. He's full of green flags. In fact, his skin is a green flag. And he accepts her for who she is. She is vain and she is learning, but like, he's so accepting. I think my faves were Goldie and Froggy, and they're still my faves. Yeah, Froggy is Land of Stories version of Zero. He kind of is, yeah. A prince in disguise. If you like it all that much, it's yours. But sir, I insist. Well, thank you. I have a problem, you guys. I don't know if you noticed what just happened just now. I think it is a symptom of my neurodivergence that if I hear a line from something I know in my head, the rest of it just comes the F out of my mouth. It just, did you see that? Beauty and the Beast just fell out of my mouth. I didn't even do that on purpose. I couldn't stop myself. I have a problem. That was bad. Why does that happen? I mean, it's fun, but it's also real weird, right? My husband was, I just got the notification you were live and I was already here. You're like, why bother telling me? I literally know. My husband and I were talking about how wonderful this baby is.
Yeah, gift, yeah. And we were talking about her, and we were like, oh, she's the best at this and that, and just like saying all these things. No, book club is starting right now, Aaron. And he goes, and she's a little weirdo, and I love that about her. And I was like, we were only gonna produce a little weirdo. Yeah, yeah. She is. She's a little weirdo. It's true. She does this thing with her tongue right now where she goes like, which is funny because my grandfather, when he didn't want to curse people out, would do this and bite his tongue like that. Anytime he didn't want to like curse at someone, that's how he held himself back. And she goes like this. It's so cute. It's like the funniest thing. And obviously she never met him. He died many years before she was born, but it's like she got a little bit of his like, yeah. Okay, let's read. Okay, where were we? We were in the middle of chapter 19, Castle in the Sky, and what was happening, in case you don't remember, is the cat that the giant left behind is chasing and trying to eat them. So, let's see what happens. The twins ran. Oh no, we already read that part. Meow, meow. The cat squeaked and tried to grab her through the tablecloth. Hey, Whiskers, Froggy shouted, care for some frog legs? And he did a degrading little dance to get the frog's attention. Meow, the cat considered. Meow, the cat decided and jumped down from the table toward the frog. Now, Charlie, Jack shouted, and the twins watched in horror as if it was all happening in slow motion. The cat was zooming toward Froggy, ready to sink its teeth and claws into him, and Froggy hopped out of the way at the very last second, avoiding its outstretched claws. The cat slammed into the cupboard, and Jack and the twins shut the door behind it. Froggy joined them, and together they fought against the cat to try to keep it inside. A heavy grunt came from the top of the table. Goldilocks pushed a giant spoon over the edge, and it hit the floor with a thud. She slid down the table leg like it was a pole in a firehouse. The twins ran to her and helped her carry the spoon to the cupboard. They slid the spoon between the handles of the cupboard, and the cat was trapped, at least for now. The cat growled angrily from inside the cupboard. All right, let's get out of here, Jack ordered. The spoon's not going to hold it in there forever. The five of them made a mad dash through the dining room and back into the entrance hall. The cat banged violently against the cupboard doors, bending the spoon ever so slightly with every push. Jack and Goldilocks ran toward the door at full speed. They hit the floor with perfect momentum and slid under the door. Connor tried copying them, but he only tripped himself, and he had to climb under the door the regular way with his sister and Froggy. Once they were all outside, the five of them took off running as fast as they possibly could down that stony path. The cat isn't going to follow us outside, though, right? Connor asked the others as they ran, and they all glanced back, praying that they wouldn't see the cat emerging from the castle behind them. What they hadn't seen until now was a giant cat door cut into the castle's door, and the furious cat poking its head through it. Oh, come on, Connor shouted, and the cat chased after them like a fat and furry torpedo. Thankfully, its weight slowed it down, so it took a while for it to catch up to them. The stony path ended, and a group of five carefully moved through the clouds at a sluggish speed. The cat was apprehensive about stepping on the clouds, but it was too determined to stop now. Luckily, it had just as much trouble walking on the clouds as they did, but the cat still tried clawing at whoever was closest to them at the time. We have got to get down, Goldilocks shouted. Everyone crawled the rest of the way to the beanstalk. And they all fell onto their hands and knees, covered by the clouds. They couldn't see what they were crawling to, but at least the cat couldn't either. It tried digging them out of the clouds, sending large cloudy chunks into the air, but the cat never found any of them. One by one, Jack, Goldilocks, Froggy, and the twins found the beanstalk and started their descent back to the ground. They didn't even bother with ropes this time. In fact, they were practically throwing themselves down the beanstalk. Leaf by leaf, they bounced closer and closer to the ground below. That cat's not going to follow us down the beanstalk, is it? Connor asked, but just as he did, the cat poked its huge head through the clouds above them. Meow, the cat said, delighted to finally be able to see them. God, I hate this flipping cat, Connor yelled, and the cat was descending the beanstalk behind them now. It looked like an elephant climbing down a tightrope. It was timid from the height, moving at a lazy, cautious pace. It clearly hadn't thought this plan through. Goldilocks started slicing down the beanstalk's leaves as they passed them, making it more difficult for the cat to follow. "What in the world?" a voice shouted up at them. It was Red, staring up at the beanstalk and watching her 5 friends being chased by an enormous cat. "I'm sorry, am I actually seeing this, or did I bump my head when we landed earlier?" "You're actually seeing it, my dear," Frog yelled down at her, and Claudius was going nuts too. He barked up at the colossal cat in the sky, pulling at his restraints. The tiny wolf made the enormous cat very nervous, and it stopped, now stuck on the upper part of the beanstalk. Hey Liz, we're barely just like 2 pages into this. "Red, you need to cut down the beanstalk right now," Jack yelled down at her. "Excuse me?" Red asked. "You need to cut it down before the cat reaches the bottom," Jack yelled. "There should be an axe in my shack. Get it and start chopping." Red looked around for someone else to do this instead of her, but there was no one to be found. "Red, please, we need you," Alex said. Red mustered up the determination, all that she had. "Okay, I'll do it," she yelled, and she ran straight into the shack, but quickly ran back out a moment later and said, "Wait, which one is the axe again?" Goldilocks slapped an open palm against her head. "The one that looks like this," Jack said, raising his own axe. "Oh, got it," Red said, and she ran back into the shack. And then she ran out, dragging a large axe behind her as if it weighed more than she did. "All right, now chop it down," Jack yelled, and Red nodded. She lifted the axe, which took all the strength that she possessed, and swung it toward the beanstalk. She missed it by several inches, and the swing spun her around to the ground. "Come on, Red, please, you can do this," Alex cheered down at her. "We believe in you, darling," Froggy called down. Red looked at her reflection in the axe and fixed a strand of her hair that had fallen out. She took another swing, and this time she hit the beanstalk, but it only left a tiny dent in it. "I hit it! I hit it!" Red said, and she jumped up and down, so proud of herself. "You're gonna need to hit it about 1,000 times harder than that, though," Goldilocks yelled, and the cat grew agitated. Seeing the 5 of them get closer and closer to the ground, it started to climb down again, moving faster than ever, its bright green eyes fixed on them. Red took another swing at the beanstalk, barely leaving a large mark. "I can't do this," Red said through her sniffles. "Yes, you can, Red. Do it for your country, do it for your granny, and do it for me," Froggy encouraged her. "Pretend the beanstalk is Goldilocks," Connor shouted down at her, and everyone on the beanstalk froze and just stared at Connor. Red looked down at the axe with more determination than ever. Connor had done the trick. With one confident swing, Red sliced through the entire base of the beanstalk with practically inhuman strength. Everyone was shocked, but not as shocked as Red herself. Even the cat looked surprised. The beanstalk began to teeter. "Everyone, get to this side of the beanstalk," Jack yelled, and they all swung themselves to the side of the beanstalk that wasn't going to hit the ground. The beanstalk slowly began to fall faster and faster and faster. The cat, however, wasn't ready for its quest to conclude. It sank one front paw into the beanstalk and a back paw into the clouds above it, holding its place. "Now what?" Alex yelled, and Claudius broke his restraints on the deck of the granny and ran down to the base of the beanstalk. He barked up at the gigantic cat dangling in the sky. "Meow!" The cat yipped fearfully. In one giant leap, it let go of the beanstalk and soared back into the cloudy world above. "Timber!" Jack yelled, and the beanstalk fell toward the ground like a giant whip. It crashed into the manor, splitting it in half like a knife slicing a birthday cake. Jack, Goldilocks, Froggy, and the twins looked at one another. They were all surprised that they had even survived this ordeal. There was a moment of silence before they heard an earth-shattering scream. They looked up toward the manor. The beanstalk had missed the golden harp by mere inches. "That is the second time I almost died today, and it isn't even dusk yet," the harp shouted. The team climbed down from the beanstalk and brushed themselves off. Froggy gave Red an enormous hug. "You saved our lives," he said, and he twirled her around. Goldilocks avoided making eye contact with Red. "Nice one," she said begrudgingly, and then she quickly walked away. The twins lay on the grass and caught their breath. The clouds began to part now that the beanstalk was gone and revealed a bright blue sky. "I never want to do that again," Connor said. "Never," Alex agreed, and Jack walked over to the newly destroyed manor. "Hey, Harper," he said with an apologetic hesitance in his voice. "So look, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is, look, you're still moving. The bad news is, you're coming with us first." Dun, dun, dun. How do you tell someone like the harp that she has to be put into a magic spell? I don't know the answer to that question. But we're gonna find out, I guess, huh? Together. The next chapter is called The Reflection. I wonder whose reflection it is. That's a fair point, Priscilla. Maybe she would be thrilled to know that she was so precious to someone. Hey, Jen, I will give you, we just finished the chapter that we'd started yesterday. It was just a couple of pages, so I will just give you a really quick recap of what happened so that you can start fresh with us on chapter 20, which we are about to start. As you know from yesterday, the cat was chasing them all around and they escaped the house very quickly, and they ran down the beanstalk, but the cat was trying to follow them. So they shouted down to Red to cut down the beanstalk, but she was having a lot of difficulty doing it until Connor told her to imagine that the beanstalk was Goldilocks. And then magically it got easy for her to chop down the beanstalk. Oops. Is that the reflection? Pinocchio maybe looks like a long nose. No, it's definitely a girl. It's definitely not Pinocchio. It's got to either, I would have thought it was Alex if she was wearing a headband, but they always have Alex with a headband. Like if you look at the front, Alex always has a little headband on. So if the person had a headband, I would assume it was Alex, but it's a girl with long hair. So maybe the Enchantress of Yore, I don't know. Hence the begrudging good job given. Yes, exactly that. But that's all you missed, literally. It was just the description of them running out of the castle. So you can go back and listen to that later if you want to, but like, that's what it was. Chapter 20, The Reflection. So let me get this straight, the magical harp said. You're on a quest, collecting the most prized possessions of the most hated people in the world to build a powerful wand that you hope will overthrow the Enchantress. And I happen to be one of those possessions. Connor shrugged. That's right, he said, although it sounds lame when you say it that way. It took Jack, Froggy, and Connor to move the harp of solid gold onto the lower deck of the Granny. Once they got her there, and the men and the women of the ship surrounded her and told her about the mission and her newly discovered relevance to said mission. I don't understand. How am I supposed to be a part of a wand? The harp asked and gestured to the ice scepter that Goldilocks had been showing her moments before. Froggy had to agree. I really don't see how you fit into all of this either, he said. You're awfully big to be part of a wand. I beg your pardon, the harp snapped at him. My apologies, Froggy said. I just mean everything else has been small material items. We have yet to have, well, whatever it is that you are. Whatever it is I am, the harp said. That's rich, coming from a giant frogman. The frog stepped back and bowed out of the conversation completely. Hey, Anya. What if we, like, cut off one of her fingers or something? Connor suggested. Anya, we just started chapter 20, so you're good to go. They're trying to discuss things with the harp, which I know you read it with us last time, so you can slide right in anywhere. What? The harp yelled. Connor, that is so barbaric, Alex said, and she hit him on the shoulder. Why would you even suggest such a thing? Hey, it was only an idea, he said. Froggy's not the size of Frog. No, Froggy's the size of a man. Yeah, Froggy's man-sized. Yeah, he's a frog, but man-sized. Yeah. Big frog. Real big frog. Yeah. It's pretty funny, right, Jen? When you have to reimagine that in your mind. I guess he's not, oh yeah, he's kind of here. You can see him running behind her. Well, remember, you guys, he can hold Red's hand, he can ride a horse, he can do all those things. Yeah, he's big. He's big. It was only an idea, Connor said. But what would happen if she came in contact with the wand? Goldilocks asked. Will she shrink? Will the wand blend into her somehow? Will she die? The harp went berserk and desperately tried to jump out of the ship, but she was too heavy to lift herself. Harper, you've got to calm down, Jack said to his overly excited instrument. No one's going to harm you. But I'm still your prisoner, aren't I? The harp said, and the strings on her back played a dramatic opening chord to a ballad. Right when it teased me, the cruel world deceived me. No hope for freedom, no stars to wish upon. Born for imprisonment am I, can't be free until I die. All right, that's enough, Harper, Goldilocks said. You're not our prisoner. We're just going to keep you around for a while until we can figure out what to do, and then you'll be free to live your exciting life of watching grass grow and entertaining people at their will. The harp squinted at Goldilocks and raised a golden eyebrow. So you're the girl that Jack ran off with, she said. No wonder he can't be seen with you in public. I wouldn't want to either. The twins both made an ooh sound. Jack and Froggy had to hold Goldilocks back. A high-pitched laugh erupted from Red's mouth, and she slapped the side of her leg. You know what? I think having Harper around my castle won't be such a bad thing after all, she said. And that evening at sundown, they fired up the Granny's flames and steered the ship northeast. Their next stop would be the ruins of an old abandoned castle for the evil queen's magic mirror. Oh, the reflection must be her. That makes more sense. Shh, 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 shh. Yeah, Harper and Red will be besties, apparently. Alex and Connor slept most of the way. The journey up and down the beanstalk had taken a toll on them, and they were tired and slept through most of Red's sleep-talking and Harper's self-pitying songs. The twins woke just before sunrise the next day and made their way to the upper deck. Red was already there when they arrived. She was cradling Claudius again, and the young wolf was sound asleep in her arms. Reunited? Connor asked her, and she nodded happily. Yeah, I mean, I had a nice long think to myself, Red explained, and if it weren't for Claudius, a giant man-eating cat would be wreaking havoc on my kingdom right now. He's not a killer after all. On the contrary, he's our savior. So the fact that he's a wolf doesn't bother you anymore? Alex asked, and then she didn't speak Red fluently yet. No, it doesn't. Not at all, Red said. What kind of mother would I be if I let something as simple as species get in the way of our love? I'm courting a giant frog after all. I'll just raise Claudius to be a loving and compassionate animal. If a wolf has never been capable of possessing such qualities before, then Claudius will be the first. But if he tries to eat me, Mom is getting a new coat. They appeased her with fake agreeing smiles, and they left her alone with her pet. Claudius is very cute. I agree, Nagisa. The twins went to the front of the ship and looked at the ground below, horrified at what they saw. The entire eastern kingdom had devoured by thorn bushes and vines, the plants wrapped around every building below. Even though they had been told about it countless times, Alex and Connor could never have imagined what they were seeing now. It's like the fox said in the dwarf forest, Alex said. The entire kingdom is, well, it's covered. I don't think I realized just how powerful the enchantress was until now, Connor said with a gulp. Seeing this firsthand really raises the stakes, doesn't it? The thorn bushes and the vines began to thin out the farther northeast the Granny traveled. The overgrown terrain was replaced with the dry and deserted land that the region was known for, and soon the ruins of the old abandoned castle could be seen in the distance. What had once been an imposing structure was just a massive pile of stone bricks and pieces of wood now. Jack, Goldilocks, Froggy, Red, and the twins joined at the front of the ship and shivered. It was like seeing the remains of a large monster they had once killed, but instead of a carcass, they felt as if they were nearing a sleeping body. Something about the castle felt very much alive. The Granny landed gently beside the moat. How much of the mirror do you think we need to gather? Connor asked the others. Do we just need like a piece, or do we need the whole thing? Well, it's going to take a while to retrieve every piece if that's the case, Alex said, and Goldilocks removed the wand from her cot, where she had stashed it for safekeeping. Well, we'll take the wand with us, she said. And the 6 travelers headed out of the Granny and toward the destroyed castle. The enchantress lived here once, Alex said. You don't think there's any part of her lingering here, do you? And Connor looked around at the dead land surrounding them. I don't think there's any life lingering around here whatsoever, Connor said. We're just all spooked because of what happened here a year ago. There isn't anything in that dump except a bunch of old broken castle junk. And one by one, Froggy helped the others across the moat, and once they were on the other side, they came to a halt and stared at the rubble in dismay. Okay, so how do we get in? Connor asked. No one had an answer. There didn't appear to be a practical way of getting inside the ruins. They circled the rubble for a few minutes looking around. Over here, Red called out. I found a way in. And the others ran over to where she was pointing at a small opening between two stone blocks that led deeper into the debris. Froggy attempted to crawl through it. No, we won't fit, he said. It's too narrow. The twins will, Goldilocks said. You want us to go in there alone? Alex asked. It might be the only way, Jack said, looking around the rubble. I honestly don't see another option. The twins shared an anxious glance, and Goldilocks placed her hands on their shoulders. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the two of you, she said. You said so yourself. There's nothing here to be worried about, so go inside and try to collect as much of that magic mirror as possible, and we'll be right outside. Here, take this with you. And Goldilocks handed Connor the wand. He let it hang from a belt loop of his jeans. We're all counting on you, Red said, and then she received dirty looks from the others. You can do it! Yay! Be careful, children, Froggy said. Try not to move anything while you're in there. The stones have settled, but you don't want anything caving in further. Froggy seemed so concerned that the twins didn't even mind being referred to as children. Alex and Connor stepped up to the opening and gently squeezed through the stones, scraping the sides as they went. Inside, it was like an obstacle course made of debris. The twins carefully climbed over and under and through broken pieces of wood and stone, and everywhere they looked was a broken piece of castle that triggered a not-so-happy memory of their last visit. A wooden beam, a cell door, a stair railing, and occasionally a smashed chair or table. Every time we read, I look up a character in Land of Stories on a fandom website for character. Oh, you'll have to share some, Naisa. I want to see that. Oh, shh, 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 shh. You don't have to be awake, honey. Shh, 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 shh. The further they climbed into the endless. You don't have to be awake. You're awake regardless of whether mommy says that or not. Hi. Hi. Hi, baby angel. Hi. You see the book? Yeah. Yeah. They climbed farther into the endless wreckage, and soon they entered a large clearing. They assumed that what they had reached used to be the Magic Castle's Great Hall. The place that they had seen the magic mirror shatter. Alex, this whole place is covered in glass, Connor said. How do we know which pieces of glass came from what thing? Everywhere they looked, they saw shards of glass. It was scattered across the ground and all over the mounds of rubble around them. Some fragments were bigger than others, and the twins could see their reflection in them, but it was impossible to determine which parts were the magic mirror and which were just windows or something else. Oh, she's definitely going to love reading when she gets older, that's for sure. But I think it's time to go over to the mat because she is fully awake. So we will reconvene at the mat. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm just going to bookmark real quick. We're going to move locations. You want to play? You want to play on your mat? Yeah. Is it playtime? Is it time to play, my sweet baby angel? Some playtime, some playtime. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'll move all of this out of the way for you. There you go, so you can get to your little bear cub. Okay, I got mommy's coffee and I got our friends. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Tower of Terror in 3, 2, whoop. Never gets old. Never gets old. Right, my sweetie? Right? Pretty soon, honey, I'm gonna have to enclose us in the playpen when you start being able to crawl away, huh? You think that's funny? She thinks that's funny. All right. Where were we? Oh, you got your pizza. Very good. Look, Alex said, and she picked up a small piece. It's a piece of the mirror of truth. She happily stared into the small piece, and in her reflection she could see herself changed. The Alex in the reflection wore a long golden gown and a pair of enormous sparkly wings behind her back. Hey, let me see, Connor said, and he looked into the piece of glass in his sister's hands. His reflection had also changed. The Connor in the reflection was wearing a golden suit and had a giant pair of shimmering wings behind him as well. Connor stuck out his tongue. Ew, gross. Put that thing away. Did you ever read Tom Robbins? You know what's funny about that? I have never read that, but my husband suggested Still Life with a Woodpecker as a book for us, believe it or not. Like, when we were still dating. Why did we never read that? I'm not even joking. When he and I were dating like years ago, and I was just starting book club, he was like, you guys should read this book, like whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, maybe we really should. Huh. It's funny that you triggered that memory just now. It was in his old apartment. He had that and he said that. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Maybe we need to revisit that concept. Yeah. Yeah, that's what he said. He said it was good. Yeah. I like where your head's at. Here's your wolf, honey. Alex tucked the piece into her pocket safely. She figured that she might need a reminder of who she was in the days to come. You were just about to start the reread of Still... well, maybe you should wait for us, Jillian. Maybe we'll all do it together. I don't know, right? Not a bad idea. If multiple people want to do it, we're always up for trying different genres and whatnot. Maybe a secret husband will read it to us. No, he won't read it to us. Who am I kidding? What a ridiculous statement. Did you hear Mommy's funny joke? Poor Dada. He's got enough on his plate. He doesn't need to read to us. Anyway, let's keep going regardless. Connor pulled the wand. How are we going to sort through all of this? Alex asked, and Connor pulled the wand out of his belt loop. He held it into the air, and a series of small scraping sounds came from all around the wreckage. Little by little, pieces of glass inched closer to the wand, pulled by a magnetic force. Okay, look, I think I have an idea, Connor said, and he placed a wand in the center of the ground and quickly pulled Alex behind a large piece of wood. They watched as tiny bits of glass flew from all over the debris and attached themselves to the wand. It looked as if they were covered in silver sequins. That's amazing, Connor said and went to pick up the wand. It almost looks futuristic, doesn't it? And suddenly the twins were both hit with an unsettling feeling. They both felt it at the same time, and they each turned to each other knowing that it was mutual. Connor, do you feel that? Alex asked. Yeah. Ugh, what's going on? He said. I feel like someone's watching us, Alex said, and Connor looked around at the rubble. How could anything be in here but us? He asked. And something began moving around them through the piles of rubble. They kept catching it in their peripheral vision, but it would disappear before they could get a proper look at it. Connor, look at the glass, Alex panted, and gracefully gliding through them under a larger piece of glass among the debris was the reflection of a young woman. This was a pretty young woman who wore a long white gown and had long raven hair. The reflection playfully circled them, giggling to herself as it did so. Alex and Connor felt like they were in a reverse aquarium, like they were the ones on display. Hello, the reflection said and smiled. The woman's voice was smooth and inviting, and it echoed from each piece of glass that she moved through. Who are you? There was something incredibly familiar about her. The twins were positive they had seen this woman somewhere before. I'm Alex, and this is my brother Connor, Alex said, and she took a step closer to her, and the reflection shot across to the other side and appeared in a piece of glass behind the twins. Such funny names, the reflection said. Have you seen Mira? Connor grabbed Alex's arm. Oh my God, Alex, he's always hiding from me, the reflection said and twirled around inside the piece of the mirror. Mira, oh Mira, where are you? It settled in a large shard of glass and Alex stepped closer to it. Hey, Evely, is that you? She asked the reflection, and it instantly looked up at the sound of her name. How do you know my name? Evely asked with a big curious smile. Have we met before? And as soon as she asked, her curious expression faded and she began to recognize them as well. Yeah, we have, Connor said. We met last year, in this same castle. Alex looked around at the castle remains, and a horrible thought came to her. You've been trapped inside this mirror the entire time, haven't you? Alex asked her. Have you seen Mira? Evely asked as if she hadn't even heard Alex. I can't find him anywhere. Alex felt her heart drop in the pit of her stomach. She's been trapped, and it's starting to affect her just like it affected Mira, she whispered back to her brother. Mira, where are you? Evely said musically, floating through the glass from room to room. Hey, Mira's dead, Evely, Alex said. Don't you remember? You tried to free him with the wishing spell, but it was just too late. And Evely looked at Alex and just stared at her as if she was deciding whether or not to believe her. She began circling more and more frantically. Mira, this isn't funny anymore. Please come out, Evely asked, her voice growing more and more desperate by the second. Where are you? This was hard for the twins to watch. Evely wasn't just in denial. She was cursed. Evely, do you remember anything that happened to you? Alex asked her. Do you remember the magic mirror? Do you remember Snow White? Do you remember being the evil queen? Evely's eyes grew, and she gasped at the sound of her old sobriquet. I? Evely stuttered, and her reflection gradually aged and transformed into that of the evil queen that the twins had known, as the memories of who she was and what she had done resurfaced in her mind. I remember, the evil queen said, and her eyes filled with tears. I remember everything. Oh no. What have I done? How did I get here? We tried to warn you, but you wouldn't listen to us, Connor said. And the mirror fell on top of you, and you vanished, and there was really nothing we could do. Tears rolled down the evil queen's face as her mind was filled with more memories of her heartless life. Really? You think so? Oh, I was such a monster, she sobbed, and the evil queen collapsed with grief, and her reflection appeared in pieces of glass near the ground. I poisoned my own daughter? I harmed innocent people? And I kidnapped children? Alex knelt down next to her, wishing that she could reach through the glass to console her. Hey, but it wasn't your fault, she said. You had your heart cut out and turned into stone. Remember, you didn't know what you were doing. The evil queen just nodded. I was in so much pain, I didn't know what else to do, she said. Pain will drive you mad if it's strong enough. It'll change you into something that you're not. It'll turn you evil. Yeah, we know, Alex said, but it's all in the past now. Oh, you must forgive me, children, the evil queen begged. Forgiveness is what we all need to forget the past, even if we don't deserve to. Alex and Connor nodded to her, willing to do anything that would give her some consolation. Yeah, of course, Alex said. We forgive you. And the evil queen smiled at them through her tears of shame. Thank you, she said. I'm afraid I'll never forgive myself, though. I spent my entire life trying to free him from this prison, and now I'm doomed to spend eternity here without him. I cannot think of a worse punishment. We could try to free you if you'd like, Connor said. I mean, we're building a wand, like a really powerful wand. Maybe we could use it to get you out of there. And the evil queen dried her tears and shook her head. No, let me be, she said. I deserve this fate. I deserve to be inside of here. Here, her head tilted and she stared at the twins as if someone was whispering something about them into her ear. You're on a quest, aren't you? She asked them. Whoa, that's the tripod. You don't need to grab that. No, 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 no. What about the pizza? Pizza, pizza, boop, boop, boop. Look, look, pizza, woo! Brick pig? The third little pig helped build the granny. Claudius? 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 Did he kiss your nose? Did Claudius kiss your nose? It's a very cute nose. She said we needed a field trip. Yeah, for reals. Yeah, how did you know? Alex asked. Oh, I can see many things from inside of here, she explained. I can reflect on the world in ways I never could before. I see a large ship waiting outside the castle ruins. I see a kingdom imprisoned by plants. I see a whole world in fear. I see Esmea. The evil queen shuddered at the thought of her former mistress. But how can this be? I thought she was dead. Funny story, you didn't kill her like you thought, Alex said, sorry to be the one to break the news to her. Yeah, now she's back and she's taking over the world, Connor said, and the evil queen covered her mouth. Oh no, I made the poison as strong as I possibly could. It killed the life outside the castle for miles, but it wasn't strong enough, evidently. Connor knelt down next to his sister. Look, we're trying to stop her. We need to know what her most prized possession was in order to do so. So, do you happen to know what that might be? The reflection thought on it. Esmia's most prized possession was, well, it was always herself. I don't really need magical insight to tell you that. Oh boy, Connor said. That's going to be a really difficult one to retrieve. And the evil queen grew very still as another troubling realization came to her. Someone's following you. In here? Connor asked. No. Across the land as you travel. Who? Is it the enchantress? Alex asked, and the evil queen looked off into the distance as if she was trying to see something far away. No. It's neither person nor thing, but it's an entity. The ghost, Connor said. We've been wondering what her deal is. Can you tell us who she is? They call her the Lady of the East. The twins were stunned to learn the ghost's name. They tried to remember if they had ever heard of the Lady of the East before. The East, Connor said. Every time I see her, she always points to the east. That's where she was pointing at through my window in Red's castle. The direction she pointed at when we were on the ship. You must leave now, the evil queen told them. The enchantress grows stronger as we speak. She plans on attacking very soon. You must hurry away and defeat her before it is too late. But, Alex started to say, but the evil queen's reflection turned away from them. I'm afraid I can't help you any more, children, the evil queen said. I feel myself fading away more and more as every second passes. Wait, please, you have to tell us more. Who is the Lady of the East and why is she following us? Alex asked. Where's Esmia going to attack next? Connor asked, but the evil queen just ignored them both. Hello? Can you hear us? The evil queen turned to them, but her reflection had morphed back into the happily and smiling Evely. Have either of you seen Mira? She asked with a laugh. I can't find him anywhere. Alex and Connor just sighed hopelessly. They knew they had gotten as much information out of the reflection as possible. They didn't want to leave Evely here, but they knew it would be long before the magical curse... Oh. My darling, please, contain yourself. Woo! They didn't want to leave Evely here, but they knew it wouldn't be long before the curse of the magic mirror overtook her soul completely, just as it had Mira. Goodbye, Evely, Alex said sadly, and the twins headed out of the castle ruins as Evely continued her never-ending search for her long-lost love. Mira! Oh, Mira! Where are you? Oh! Devastatingly sad, my darling. Devastatingly sad. You want to go over here to your bear? Look. Well, that was very sad. I'm going to check in a second how long the next chapter is while she goes and entertains herself. Delicious. Are you gonna crawl? Are you gonna crawl? Who's a big girl? Big strong girl? Yeah, big strong girl. Big strong girl. You can crawl. Yes, you can. Wrong direction. The bear's over there. I know, right? It's so sad. The whole Mira thing is just heartbreaking. Okay, we're on page 368. And this chapter goes to 396. Okay, it's quite a long chapter. So we'll just go ahead and read this one on Monday so that we don't get stuck in the middle of a chapter, like when we don't have it tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's fine sometimes to stop in the middle of a chapter, but like since it's Saturday, I'll just, we'll just have clean. Oh, thank you for the reminder. Guys, Liz and I were talking and we just realized we never came up with an official name for our book club and we don't have like an official logo for it. So I want you guys to start like ruminating and pitch ideas and then we'll all vote on all the ideas together on what we should call ourselves. You know what I mean? So like start thinking, ruminating on it. Liz is making us a logo, but we need a name before it can be finalized. You know what I mean? I think we really need one. I mean, we're coming up on 3 years, you guys. You can't have something that goes on for 3 years with no name, right? That's kind of sad. When this little girl turns 1, book club will be 3. 3. So yeah, anyway, I forgot to mention it yesterday, but Liz and I have been chatting and we really would like to... Is that what you think it should be called? You think it should be called, I'm the coolest baby in the world, book club number 3. That's what she thinks. What do you guys? You guys want to vote on that name? All in favor of I'm the coolest baby in the world book club? She said I. So I guess that's it. That's what we're calling it. I'm the coolest baby in the world book club. Okay, well, never mind that then. I'm just kidding. Everybody pitch your ideas. We don't have to decide today, you know what I mean? Think of ideas over the next couple of days and then pitch them in the book club chat. Or I'll make a post for it so that we can keep them all in one place, and then we can vote on what one we like the best. Yeah, our book club. It could be a baby book club. That's right. Baby book club is I'm the coolest baby in the world book club. Yeah, that's right. Steph, I was just thinking how great book club's gonna be for you when you're postpartum and you just like need to just sit and feed the baby, or just like sit and console her or whatever. Like I don't know. I think it's gonna be really healing for you. It was very healing for me. So I hope it does the same for you. When you're just like, you can't do much, right? You know? So anyway, that's the whole kit and caboodle. We're gonna go to the farmer's market and get our fruit and vegetables for the week. Sit and freely drink coffee. Saving Princess Diaries for night feeds. Yeah, for sure. And then we're gonna go have lunch with Grandma, huh? Are we gonna have lunch with Grandma? And Aunt Phil and Aunt Louise and Uncle John? Okay. All right. Well, we love you all, and we'll see you on Monday. Next week is Roll for Slime, so go sign up if you want to.